But first, there aren't many Mainers whose passion for hiking matches that of Carrie Kish.
Kish, who lives on Mount Desert Island, first thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail in 1977. Then he did it again 38 years later in 2015.
This year brought a new goal to walk the 2,653 miles of the Pacific Crest Trail from the U.S.-Mexico border north to the U.S.-Canada border. It is, by any standard, one of America's epic hikes. Carrie Kish started his hike on the Pacific Crest Trail in early April. At the beginning, in the desert, the scenery was exceptional. California had gotten unusually heavy rain and snowfall over the winter, and wildflowers bursting with color were abundant. You went for a good long chunk, and then you started to run into some serious snow challenges, right?
Yes, there was snow in the desert to start with. That was a big surprise. And then when I got to the Sierras, 700 miles in, I decided that there was too much snow. It was full-on winter.
What was it like?
Big snow, like 10 and 20 feet of snow. Plenty of people I know actually went through, but talking to them on the backside of that, they all said, well, I did it, but it wasn't a lot of fun. And as a matter of fact, it was downright dangerous and I should have died. So I didn't want to do that.
Kish hiked 700 miles from the California-Mexico border to Kennedy Meadows at the southern end of the Sierra Nevada mountains. At that point, to avoid the snowpack, he traveled to southern Oregon, where he got back on the Pacific Crest Trail and began hiking south about 1,100 miles back to Kennedy Meadows. The thing that is usually foremost on hikers' minds, maybe weather is number one, and I don't know, is food number two, or is food really number one?
Food is number 1, 2, and 3. I was an eating machine. The way I look at it, Rob, if I was awake, I was eating. One day I actually, I did an analysis. I sorted through my garbage bag to see how much I had eaten the night before. And between 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock when I went to bed, I ate like 3,500 calories. And you're still hungry.
On a typical day, you would walk how far?
Tried to make 18 to 20 miles every day. And at the end, the last month or so of the hike, I was doing 25, 26, 27 a day.
While going through these significant elevation changes and carrying a pack that weighed how much?
25, 30 pounds. I'm 60 years old, and I was just cruising. Because you've been doing this for so long. You get up in the morning, you put your pack on, and you walk. And you walk till nightfall.
What would you think about all day?
A lot of times, absolutely nothing. I got very good at turning my mind off and just kind of floating through the day. Other times, it's random thoughts, this, that, and the other thing, memories. You name it. You have plenty of time to think. And just like on the AT, I actually ran out of things to think about. Believe it or not, which is great. It's a nice problem to have.
You enter a mental void? That sounds a little scary.
Yeah, you know, I think that's part of the beauty of the walk. It is for me anyway. You really do end up freeing yourself of all this stuff because you got nothing left to think about. And you're able to just enjoy the walk and be out there and be in the moment, which is really nice.
People may not realize that when you're out there, it's not just, okay, I got to get up over one mountain and then things will be okay. It's just mountain after mountain after mountain, right?
Absolutely. You're out there. This is remote, rugged terrain. Think of climbing Katahdin with a loaded backpack about every day for 6 months. That's about roughly what it's equivalent to.
I'm exhausted.
Isn't that great? Yeah. So it's tough, and you've got to be committed, or you won't make it.
You also won't make it if you don't have the right gear. You hiked 2,300 miles or whatever over enormous ranges in elevation, carrying a pack that weighed, I don't know, 35 pounds or whatever, and you never got a blister.
No blister on the Appalachian Trail, no blisters on the Florida Trail, no blisters on the Pacific Crest Trail. I don't know what it is about these boots and me, but they fit me and they work, and I just love them. The high point of the trip actually turned out to be the highest point of the trip, the 14,500-foot summit of Mount Whitney, the tallest peak in the continental U.S. And the weather was perfect, and I had almost hiked 1,700 miles by that point. So I was in really good shape. I flew up Mount Whitney, honest to God, 5,000 feet. I was up there in just a few hours and on top and just going, whoa, this is great.
When Kish reached Kennedy Meadows at the southern end of the Sierra Nevada, he'd completed about 2/3 of the Pacific Crest Trail. He then traveled back to Oregon and once again began hiking north. In northern Washington state, the conditions got ugly.
We had a couple of really bad snowstorms. I was in 12, 18 inches of snow, and it had become just not a lot of fun. And actually, it was getting dangerous to be out there.
Kish's hike ended 176 miles shy of the Canadian border. He will return in August to walk that last stretch and finish his through hike of the Pacific Crest Trail. How did this trip change you?
It just makes me know that I love these kinds of trips. I love being out there. I love the solitude, the beauty of the mountains. I also love being home. You know, it was great to come back and cross the bridge over the Piscataqua and see the main sign. So I'm a calmer person, I think. I'm at peace more, perhaps, than when I left last April.
What's known as the Triple Crown of American through hiking consists of the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, and the Continental Divide Trail, which runs north-south along the Rocky Mountains. Kerry Kish said that he was driving back from Washington State last month. The Rockies looked awfully tempting. So that Continental Divide Trail may yet be in his future.
Put it on the list. We've got more information on Kerry Kish, the books he's written, and the column he does for the Maine Sunday Telegram. Just head to newscentermaine.com/207 or check us out on our mobile app.